2 full weeks of the National Basketball Association in the books. Many rising stars looking to solidify themselves, climb up the player rankings, look for max extensions, hopeful franchise players looking to fulfill their full potential, while older players on the decline, double-digit All-Star appearances, some might have already enjoyed their last one before realizing they're not the player they once were. With a bunch of stars on the rise, 6 total first-time All-Stars last season includes Therese Halliburton, SGA, Jarrett Jackson Jr., Larry Marketing, Anthony Edwards, and De'Aaron Fox. Ant-Man and Fox, the injury replacements, many new names will make their way to Gainsbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis to enjoy February 18th festivities. Starting with Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks, truly one of the best leaders. Many believe he snubbed last season. First 7 games to start out, 22 points. A bad performance versus the Clippers won't stop him from bouncing back. The closer down the stretch didn't take away from his 45-point masterpiece versus the Bucks, while teammate Julius Randle came by a bucket, led New York to his most successful season since 2013, 11 playoff games with the Knicks, outplayed Donovan Mitchell's second straight postseason, averaged nearly 28, 5, and 6. New York wouldn't even be relevant without his signing. One of the best free agent decisions the franchise ever made. The team from the struggling 2000s to the underachieving Melo days needed a true leader and a floor general in the worst way imaginable. Little did anybody knew the Villanova prodigy and former Knicks backup Rick Brunson's son answered the calling. Super calm demeanor, remains composed at all times, something teammate Randle still struggles with. The direction changer of the franchise, 4 years since the so-called devastating free agency 2019, missing out on Zion, KD, and Kyrie. Randle considered a meme, Jalen making big time shots, stepped up every time when needed, the finesse and footwork, the team now too reliant on him to bail the Knicks out. Seeing his presence and attitude will want to make many involved with the game want to vote for Jalen Brunson. Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs, living up to the hype in every way imaginable and more. Teams who decided not to tank for this one-of-a-kind generational type star will be left with forever regrets. Extraordinary rare abilities, the size, shot-making, IQ, and domination on both ends, the San Antonio Spurs landing Victor literally feels like winning another championship. First 7 games, 19.5 points, 8.5 boards, 2.5 blocks, 29 minutes played on 15 shot attempts. Many times, his teammates don't even pass him the ball. The ability to have all the skills, take the game over down the stretch and win it as a 19-year-old. The most advanced teenager the game has ever seen, doing things game after game nobody else in the league capable of. The way he blocks shots, just grabs the ball right after, making players scared to be around him, absolutely delivering and living up to the hype. Some even call him a top 15 player already, constantly blocking 3-point shots, as close to a basketball cheat code you can get. Feels like there's 6 players on his team on defense, given the insane length and recovery. Not only is Victor looking to become the first rookie All-Star in over a decade since Blake Griffin, but many discussions whether he can win Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year at the same time. His D, literally top 10 right now without question. Players will only continue to regret going at him one-on-one, from hitting step-back threes, catching lobs, the first player of his size to play every single position, even overshadowing the greatness of Chet Holmgren. Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers, young stud answering all the calls, 23 years young, getting more comfortable, eats, leaves, and breathes basketball. First 6 games, 25.5 points, over 7 assists, making 19 of his first 43 triples. Might single-handedly convince Joel Embiid to stay in Philly. We know Harden loves to take shots at people he despises, not shy to criticize Daryl Morey, but continues to praise Maxey for the work ethic, acknowledge him putting in the work at the gym while Harden vibing at the strip clubs. From going through the franchise's unhappy stars, dysfunctions, backlash, unhappiness, Maxey, unaffected by all the noise, continues to stay busy in the gym, adjusting nicely and being more of a playmaker than pure scoring option. After Harden's departure, a career best 11 assists versus the Wizards, 0 turnovers, just tearing up the light-skinned bros apart, 44 assists to 7 turnover ratio, efficient too. The 21st pick could end up being the second most impactful Sixer drafted since the start of the process if they somehow make it far and get to the conference finals. Maxey and Joel can make every fan forget about the brutal days of the Michael Carter-Williams era, Jahlil Okafor, Nerlens Noel, Ben Simmons, and Markelle Fultz tenure. While not much title aspirations given the loss of Harden, As long as second option Maxey can lead the Sixers forward and Harden's Clippers come 2024 postseason, it'll be a successful year for Philly. Cam Thomas, one of the names for potential most improved. What's so funny? His jumper's been absolute money, scoring Arsenal sweet like honey. Sitting on the bench getting DMPs last season, somebody was a dummy. Absolutely not shy about getting shots no matter which part of the court. It's like one of those confident basketball players who's at the club, fearless going up to every girl. Some of his teammates need that energy, even if he goes 2 of 15 at those clubs, rejected 13 times, but got 2 digits in kisses. Good things about to happen if he keeps trying. First 7 games, 28.7 point average, 48% from the field, learning from KD and Kyrie for a year and a half. The 22-year-old lights out West Milwaukee, 45 ridiculous points. The reason why the game was close to begin with. Brooklyn don't have any other reliable scoring options. Thomas never shines away after KD and Kyrie left. Showed some abilities last season but got DMPs right after. If Brooklyn has any meaningful success, ends up over 500, with Cam getting them shots up and still scoring at a high rate, his name simply can't get ignored in all-star mentions. Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons, after the 2021 class, every top 4 pick, underwhelming second season, but it's Cade's time to prove why he was a former number 1 pick. First 8 games, 23.7 assists, his team's still gonna end up in the lotto, but finally living up to the hype after a lost second season, only 12 games played, under Monty Williams' tutelage, who's coached CP3 back with New Orleans. Cunningham's shown way more sense of aggression compared to his other draft mates. Between him, Jalen Green, Scotty Barnes, and Evan Mobley, after the first 2 weeks to start this season, Detroit's still confident Cade was the right number 1 pick. Scotty Barnes of the Toronto Raptors, finally looking like the star making the leap many expect him to make. The now 22-year-old, heavily criticized for not improving year 2 when expectations set way too high. Certain players will have down years. First 7 contests, 22.6 points, 10 and 6. Franchise looking like they're handing the keys over to the Florida native. Taking on a bigger role, 6'9", 240 plus pound body, his raw numbers only tell part of his story. The on-court awareness, reading plays, anticipating for steals, playing with extreme confidence, and a team with much lower expectations, rebounds and pushes the ball in transition, excels in the big moments. Leaving Pascal Siakam less of a role, being secondary. Siakam having more turnovers than field goals in the San Antonio game, not so spicy. It was Scotty who delivered the goods, stealing that dub, giving the Raptors fans some hope. Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat, first 7 games, showing up 25.3 points, over 5 and 5, great shooting, looking more comfortable out there. The team absolutely needs him to show up and carry much of the regular season. Miami basically aiming to avoid the play-in, don't care where they finish, so Jimmy Buckets will wake up to do his postseason magic after hearing all the noise from supposedly getting traded and staying put, responding nicely. Miami, the biggest losers in free agency, a poor start as expected, the 23-year-old carrying a good load, rounding out his all-around game than just being a pure scorer. If he keeps his excellent play, Hero's name won't be mentioned in trade talks anymore. 34-year-old Jimmy might just pass the Heat torch to the Wisconsin native who's supposed to have the huge jump after his 2020 rookie season. But 2024 looking like that year, he'll get his name called as one of the 24 All-Stars selected. Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies, if there's one guy Memphis needs to depend on to drop 40 and win some games before needing job back, the 4-year Bane's time to shine now. First 7 contests, 26.6 points, 1 and 6 start. He's been doing his part. Similar to last season's blistering start, first 12 contests of nearly 25, 5 and 5 before the toe injury. Teammate Triple J got the All-Star nod, but after underachieving for Team USA, voters aren't going to be too kindly towards the Defensive Player of the Year. Having the green light to make good things happen will shoulder most of the scoring on a thin roster. If Marcus Smart, the third option offensively, team's offensive ready flaw, if Memphis can turn it around within the next couple weeks and get a respectable seed by December, given Bane's offense will get tons of credit, potential All-Star on the horizon. Honorable mentions includes Alperen Sengun. Houston will remain terrible. Jamal Murray's slow start would have been one of the likely All-Stars for preseason predictions, but now dealing with a hamstring injury, out for an unknown period of time, a slow start, simply the type of guy who won't play his best ball till the playoffs. Paolo Banchero also struggling start for Orlando, expected to make the leap. If anybody, teammate Franz Wagner could get the All-Star nod above him. Which rising stars having the best start to this season? How many of these 8 players will actually become first-time All-Stars come February? Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.